Jai Hind everyone, myself Dr. Vandana Sharma, and the subject which I am teaching is Engineering Physics, and the subject code is KS101T. The topic which I have started here, that is laser, and today I am going to discuss that on the basis of energy levels, there are two different type of laser systems. Means how many energy states are participating in light amplification. Based upon that, we are having two different type of lasers. So the first type is 3-level laser. Means if there are 3 energy states participating in light amplification, then that type of laser system is known as a 3-level laser. And the second type is 4-level laser system, where the 4 energy states will participate in light amplification. So the first one is, I am going to take 3-level laser, and here we will discuss that how a laser system will work when 3 energy states are involved. So the 3 energy states which are involved in a 3-level laser are, the first one is ground state, second one is, just give me 1 minute. The first energy state is ground state. Clear? The second one is, the second energy state which is participating in light amplification in a 3-level laser is a metastable state. And the third energy state is known as excited state. So what you have here? You have total number of atoms distributed in these 3 states. The first energy state, that is the most stable energy state and known as ground state. The second state is an intermediate or a metastable state between that ground and excited state, and the name of that state is metastable state. And the third one is an excited state. The lifetime of this ground state is maximum because this is most stable state. Atoms can stay there for a very long time. That second state is metastable state, which is having a lifetime of approximately 10 raised to power minus 3 seconds. And your excited state, that is highly unstable state, lifetime of this state is minimum among these 3. So that is the reason it is known as an unstable state. Now this is the energy level diagram of a 3-level laser system. As you can see here, this is your first level, level number 1. Level number 1 is ground state. This is your second state known as metastable state. So this is your second level. Level number 3 is excited state, and this particular state is having a lifetime of 10 raised to power minus 8 seconds. Approximately atoms can stay here only for this duration. And in between this ground and excited state, you have this intermediate or metastable state which is having a longer lifetime, which is approximately 10 raised to power minus 3 seconds. And this lifetime is longer as compared to the lifetime of excited state. And as we have already discussed that these metastable states, they are used to achieve population inversion. If there is no metastable state in between, you cannot achieve population inversion. So that is the role of a metastable state here. Now we will try to understand that how a laser works in a 3-level laser. So initially, most of the atoms, they are present in ground state because that is most stable state. Now you will connect this laser system with the pumping source. So when you will connect that laser system with the pumping source, then these ground state atoms or electrons or ions or molecules, they will be pumped with the help of a pumping source. So the first transition which will take place in any 3-level laser, that will be pumping transition, and it will be from ground state to excited state. So this is the first transition which will take place in a 3-level laser. So the transition is from state number 1 to 3. That is transition known as pumping transition. It is from ground state to excited state. So now the population of atoms in state number 3 will increase. But you know that in this state, atoms cannot stay for a longer duration. It means these atoms, they will try to achieve a more stable state. They will try to come down to a more stable state. And you know, this metastable state, this level number 2, that is more closer to level number 3. And its lifetime is also greater than the lifetime of excited state. So what will happen? Atoms, they will come down from this state number 3 to state number 2. So the second transition which will take place in any 3-level laser, that will be a transition from 3 to 2. Now when atoms are coming down from 3 to 2, they can come down either by emitting radiations, either by emitting photons. Means if this atom is coming down from 3 to 2, and during this transition, if energy is released, extra energy is released in the form of photon, then that is known as radiative transition. So the transition from 3 to 2, that can be radiative, means photon can be released. But there in some of the laser systems, the transition from 3 to 2, that can be a non-radiative transition. Non-radiative means if the atoms of state number 3, which are highly excited atoms, if they are transferring or if they are giving their energy in the form of heat or in some other form except in the form of radiations, then that is known as non-radiative transition. Means if atoms are coming down from 3 to 2 without emitting photons, then that type of transition is non-radiative transition. So that transfer of energy when they are coming from 3 to 2, that can be in the form of heat. So in that particular case, the transition will be a non-radiative transition. So what is the meaning of this? The first transition in a 3-level laser is always pumping transition from 1 to 3. Then from 3, the second transition will be, they are going to come down from 3 to 2. So they are having two options. Either they will come down by emitting photons, then that is known as radiative transition, or they can come down from 3 to 2 without emitting photons, so that will be non-radiative transition. So depending upon different type of laser systems, in some of the lasers the transition will be radiative transition, and in some of the laser that transition can be non-radiative transition, but the transition is from excited to metastable state. So you have these two transitions here. So when atoms are coming down from 3 to 2, now you know in state number 2, these atoms can stay for a longer duration, and that time is 10 raised to power minus 3 seconds. From 1, atoms are continuously pumped to 3 with the help of pumping source. From 3, they are continuously coming down to 2 because of very small lifetime of this particular state. Now in state number 2, that is in metastable state, they can stay for a longer duration. So during this process, the population of state 1, that is decreasing continuously because of pumping transition, and the population of state number 2, that is continuously increasing. Why it is increasing? Because atoms are coming down from 3 to 2. So the population of 1 is decreasing because of pumping transition, whereas the population of level 2 will grow, will increase. Now there will be a time when the number of atoms in this metastable state, those atoms will be higher in number as compared to the number of atoms in this ground state, and that particular state is known as population inversion. So what I am trying to explain here, that the state number 1, the number of atoms in that state, those number of atoms will go on decreasing. Why they are decreasing? Because from 1 they are continuously moving to 3. From 3 they are coming down to 2, and in 2 they are going to stay for a longer duration. So what is going on there? The population of metastable state is continuously growing, whereas the population of ground state is continuously decreasing. Now a time will come when the number of atoms in metastable state, those number of atoms will be greater than the number of atoms in ground state. So that will be population inversion state. And you know, population inversion is the requirement to get laser action, to get amplified laser beam. So once you are achieving this, once the number of atoms in metastable state are greater than the number of atoms in ground state, you are having population inversion. Now suppose those atoms which have completed their lifetime in this metastable state, what they will do? If they will complete their lifetime there, then automatically they will come down to this ground state. So if atoms from state 2, they are automatically coming down to 1, then they will emit their extra energy in the form of a photon. So when atoms are coming down from 2 to 1, after completing their lifetime, they are going to emit a photon. So since this photon is emitted due to spontaneous emission, because automatically atoms are coming down, so this particular transition from 2 to 1, that is your spontaneous emission transition. And due to the spontaneous emission, what you are getting? You are getting a photon. Now that photon will start moving inside the active medium, and when it is moving inside the active medium, then there is a possibility that this photon will interact more excited atoms of metastable state, because the population of metastable state atoms is very high at that particular point in the active medium. So this photon, when it will interact with these metastable state atoms, because of that interaction, this photon will send these atoms from state number 2 to 1. So when forcefully or with the help of this external trigger, when atom is coming down from 2 to 1, then again photons are emitted, because atom is coming down from 2 to 1, so it has to release its extra energy. So that transition is known as stimulated emission transition. Means the fourth transition is also from same state, that is from 2 to 1, but now this transition will take place with the help of this trigger, with the help of this photon. The photon which was emitted due to spontaneous emission, now it is participating in stimulated emission. So now you are getting two photons. How you are getting two photons? One due to spontaneous emission and the second one due to stimulated emission. This photon has triggered this transition from 2 to 1, only then you are getting these two photons. Now these two photons, they will start moving inside the active medium. They are in same phase, they are having same energy. So one photon is converted into 2. Then two photons, they can trigger two more transitions from 2 to 1, because you have large number of atoms in state 2. So those two photons, they will be converted into 4 photons. Then those 4 photons, they can interact with 4 more atoms of metastable state. They can trigger 4 more transitions. So you will get 4 new photons, means 4 will convert into 8, 8 will convert into 16, and in this way the multiplication of photons will take place and you will get a laser beam. So this is the working process of a 3-level laser. So how many energy states are there in a 3-level laser? As you have seen here, there are 3 energy states participating in light amplification in a 3-level laser. The first one is known as ground state, second one is known as metastable state, and the third one is known as excited state. How many transitions are there? There are 4 transitions which will take place in a 3-level laser. The first transition is from 1 to 3, known as pumping transition. Second one is from 3 to 2, known as either radiative or non-radiative, that will depend upon the type of laser. Then you have third transition from 2 to 1, that is spontaneous emission, and that will be there after achieving population inversion state. Then the next one is stimulated emission transition, or you can say that is your laser transition. So now you can see here in a 3-level laser, the 2 energy states between which there is actual amplification of light. There are 2 energy states between which the amplification of light will take place or multiplication of photons will take place. So those 2 energy levels, they are your metastable state and ground state. So this energy state, the higher energy state which is participating in lasing, that is known as upper lasing level. And the lower energy state which will participate in light amplification, that is known as lower lasing level. So you can see here, what is the upper lasing level? This metastable state, that is the upper lasing level of this 3-level laser, and the lower lasing level is this ground state is the lower lasing level. Now one more point I would like to highlight here. The lower lasing level, that is this ground state, and you know that ground state is the most most stable state, atoms can stay there for a very very long time. So the population of this state will be maximum. Suppose there are 100 atoms, and if you want to achieve population inversion between ground and metastable state, means it is most populated and this is more stable state, and if you want to achieve the population inversion with respect to this state, then you have to send a large number of atoms to this metastable state. Are you getting my point? If there are 100 atoms and at a particular time, suppose there are 80 atoms in this particular state, because this is more stable state, and 15 atoms in this state and 5 atoms in this state. Now if you want to achieve population inversion between ground and metastable state, so approximately 50% of atoms should be there in metastable state, only then you can say you have population inversion. It implies that a large amount of energy, a large amount of input which you are providing to this 3-level laser, that large part is utilized to achieve that population inversion state, right? It means generally the efficiency of 3-level lasers, that efficiency is low. Reason is whatever the energy you are supplying to that 3-level laser, a large part of that energy is utilized just to achieve that population inversion state. And one more point is there, a 3-level laser that will always operate in pulse mode. Pulse mode means if you have a laser and if you are getting output from that laser, if you are not getting continuous output, means you are getting one laser pulse, then no output, then you are getting next laser pulse. So this type of output is known as output in pulse mode, right? If you will get continuous output, then that is known as CW mode. So why you are getting output in pulse mode, why you are not getting continuous output? Because you cannot maintain population inversion for a long time in 3-level laser, means you cannot maintain that population inversion state continuously in a 3-level laser. So you have to think what is the reason that you cannot get continuous population inversion here. The reason is this ground state, because when atoms are coming down from 2 to 1, only then the multiplication of photons will take place. So when atoms are coming down from 2 to 1, then the population of state number 2 will decrease. So when the population of 2 will decrease and population of 1 is increasing now, so a time will come then at which you will not get population inversion, means you can get that population inversion state only for a particular duration, then there is no population inversion, you have to achieve that population inversion again, then you will get the next laser pulse. So since you cannot maintain that population inversion state for a continuously you cannot maintain that state, so continuously you cannot get the output from such type of laser system. So that is the working process of a 3-level laser. Now the next laser system which I am going to discuss here is 4-level laser. So before going into detail of 4-level laser system, one more point I would like to mention here, that all the lasers which are present in the market, they are either 3-level laser or 4-level laser. So you can classify all the available laser in the market as 3-level laser or 4-level laser. So the second type of laser system which I will discuss here, that is your 4-level laser system. Sorry, just give me 1 minute. So the energy states which are participating in light amplification in a 4-level laser are, the first one is ground state, that is your first energy state. Second and third, these two are metastable states. Second is known as lower metastable state and third one is known as higher metastable state, but both are metastable states or intermediate states. And the fourth energy state, that is an excited state. So these are the 4 states which participates in light amplification in a 4-level laser. So once again you can see here, you have ground state, then you have metastable state, then next metastable state, and then you have excited state. Now you can see all these energy states in this energy level diagram. So this is your first energy state, this one is the first state, this is your ground state, then you have this state number 2 which is known as lower metastable state, then you have this level number 3 which is your higher metastable state, then you have level number 4 which is your excited state, right? Level number 1 or ground state, that is more stable, and level number 4 or excited state, that is least stable state or highly unstable state. Now in a 4-level laser, you know you have an assembly of atoms, and in that assembly of atoms, now atoms are distributed in these 4 energy states. Means these are the 4 possibilities where atoms can exist. But you know that ground state is the most stable state. Most of the atoms, they will try to remain in that particular state. So the maximum population is there in state number 1. State number 4, which is an excited state, few atoms can be present in that particular state. And in between there are 2 metastable states, that is lower metastable state and higher metastable states. So ideally these 2 states are empty, or practically few atoms can be present in metastable state 2 and 3. So that is the population or how the atoms are distributed in these states. Now we will try to understand that how the amplification will take place in a 4-level laser system. So initially you have most of the atoms in this ground state. Now what you will do? You will connect that active medium with the pumping source, and when you will connect that active medium with the pumping source, then that pumping source that will pump these ground state atoms to this state number 4, means there will be a transition from state number 1 to state number 4. So that particular transition which will take place after using a pumping source, that transition is known as pumping transition. So this is your first transition which will take place in a 4-level laser, transition from state number 1 to 4. So when these atoms, they will be pumped to state number 4, you can you know that this state is not having a very longer lifetime. Lifetime of this state is very small, which is only 10 raised to power minus 8 seconds. So when these atoms, they are pumped to state number 4, they cannot stay there for a longer duration. These atoms, they will try to come down to a more stable state. And you know, the state which is more stable with respect to 4 and closer to 4, that is your state number 3. So atoms from 4, they will try to come down to state number 3. If atoms are completing their lifetime in 4 and then spontaneously they are coming down to 3, they will emit their extra energy in the form of photon. So in that case, the transition from 4 to 3, that is known as radiative transition. But if the atoms of state number 4, if they are giving their extra energy in the form of heat or in some other form without emitting photon, then that transition from 4 to 3, that will be non-radiative. Means atoms can come down from 4 to 3 either by a radiative transition by emitting a photon, or they can come down from 4 to 3 without emitting a photon. So it means different type of laser systems, they can use these 2 options. In some of the laser systems, there can be a radiative transition from 4 to 3, and in some of the laser systems there can be a non-radiative transition from 4 to 3. So that is your second transition which will take place in a 4 level laser. Now from 4, when these atoms are coming down to 3, you know that state number 3 is a matter stable state. Its lifetime is longer, just give me 1 minute. Its lifetime is longer as compared to the lifetime of excited state. Its lifetime is approximately 10 raised to power minus 3 seconds. That is the lifetime of this matter stable state. So when these atoms are coming down, you will get some atoms in state number 3 and this state number 2. Initially 2 and 3, as I have already mentioned, that these two states, ideally these states are empty, but practically few atoms can be present in 2 and 3. When atoms are coming down from 4 to 3, then 3 will start populating, number of atoms in 3 will start increasing, and ideally 2 is empty or only few atoms are there in state number 2. It means you have greater population of atoms in state number 3 with respect to the population in state number 2. So now you have population version. The number of atoms in metastable state 3 is greater than the number of atoms in metastable state, that is your state number 2. So when you have this particular state, and you will get that state as soon as the transition from 4 to 3 will take place, because when the transition will take place from 4 to 3, the population of 3 will increase, whereas 2 is ideally empty. So you have population version between 3 and 2. So when you will achieve that population version, now you can think about the amplification of light. So when these atoms will come down to state number 3, so those atoms which will complete their lifetime here, they will automatically come down to state number 2. Suppose this atom has completed its lifetime in metastable state 3. If it has completed its lifetime, then automatically it will try to come down to state number 2, which is more stable with respect to 3. So when it will come down to 2, it has to release its extra energy in the form of photon. So when there is a spontaneous transition from 3 to 2, a photon is emitted. And that photon, it means this transition from 3 to 2, now this one is spontaneous emission transition. As you have seen here, the first transition is from 1 to 4, and how that transition will take place? Using pumping source. From 4 there will be a transition to 3, which can be radiative or non-radiative, and when they are coming down to 3, you will achieve population version between 3 and 2. So once you will achieve that population version, and once few atoms which will complete their lifetime in state number 3, they will automatically come down to 2. If they are coming down to 2, they will emit photons due to spontaneous emission. And the photons which are emitted due to spontaneous emission, they will start moving inside the active medium between the two mirrors of resonant cavity. And these photons, they will interact with these metastable state atoms, since their population is higher in that assembly of atoms. So when this photon will interact with excited atoms of state number 3, it will forcefully send atom from 3 to 2 before completing its lifetime in state number 3. Means the next transition that will be triggered by this photon. This third transition is a spontaneous emission transition. Because of that transition, you are getting a photon. Now that photon is moving within the active medium between those two mirrors, and when it is moving between the two mirrors, then that photon can interact with these excited atoms which are present in state number 3, and because of that interaction, it is sending these atoms from state number 3 to 2. So this is a stimulated transition. So the transition from 3 to 2, that is a stimulated emission transition. It means initially there was only one photon due to spontaneous emission, and that will trigger a transition from 3 to 2. So one photon, now it will convert into 2 2 photons. Now these 2 photons, they will start moving inside the active medium, and those 2 photons, they can trigger 2 more downward transitions. And if they can trigger 2 more downward transitions, then those 2 photons will convert into 4. All the photons, all these 4 photons, they will be in same phase, they will have same energy, they will move in same direction. So it means there is amplification, there is multiplication of those photons. So this multiplication will go on, and a time will come when the energy of these photons, that will become very high, and it will convert into a laser beam. So this is the working process of a 4-level laser. So these are the photons which are moving in same phase, they are having same energy, and they are moving along same direction. So this transition is from 3 to 2 is known as stimulated emission transition, and this is also known as this laser transition, right? So when atoms are coming down to 2, in state number 2, since its lifetime is very, very small, so they cannot stay here for a longer duration. So there will be a fast transition from state number 2 to 1. Then from 1 they will be pumped to 4, from 4 they will come down to 3, then from 3 to 2, again from 3 to 2. It means this process will go on. So this is the working process of a 4-level laser. Now as you can see in this energy level diagram, that the 2 states between which the actual amplification of light will take place, those 2 energy states are state number 3 and the state number 2. So these are the 2 energy states between which the photons will get multiply, between which you will get the laser beam. So this level number 3, this is the upper lasing level for a 4-level laser, and this state number 2 or level 2, that is the lower lasing level of a 4-level laser. Now one point which I would like to highlight here, that the lower lasing level of a 4-level laser is a metastable state. This is a metastable state which is a lower lasing level, and in ideal conditions this state is empty, means this state is empty, or you can say only few atoms are present in this particular state. So if you want to exceed the population with respect to level number 2, means you are achieving population inversion between 3 and 2, and 2 is having only few atoms or ideally no atoms are there. So with respect to 2, if you want to exceed the population of state number 3, then it is very easy. It means as soon as few atoms will come into state number 3, you will achieve population inversion. So in a 4-level laser, the task of achieving population inversion, that is very, very simple as compared to a 3-level laser. Or in other words, I can say it is very easy to achieve population inversion in a 4-level laser, and that population inversion state that can be maintained for a very long time. Reason is again in these 2 energy states. Since this state is empty, so when there is transition from 4 to 3, you will always get few atoms in state number 3, and so there will be a population, always there will be a population inversion state between 3 to 2, means you can maintain that population inversion state. Whereas in a 3-level laser, this is a very difficult task to achieve that population inversion state, because the ground state will play the role of lower lasing level. So with respect to a 3-level laser, it is very easy to achieve population inversion, and it is easy to maintain that population inversion state. And one more point, you will get the continuous output from a 4-level laser, whereas you know in case of 3-level laser, you will get the output in pulse mode. So that is a difference, that is the beauty of a 4-level laser. So if I will compare 3 and 4-level laser, then 3-level laser, that will always operate in pulse mode, that will give you the output in the form of short pulses. And in 4-level laser, you will get the output in continuous mode, means you will get the continuous output. And if you will compare that how you are getting population inversion, then it is easy to achieve population inversion and maintain that population inversion state in a 4-level laser with respect to a 3-level laser system. And if I will give you example of a 3-level laser and 4-level laser, then helium neon laser, that is an example of a 4-level laser system, and ruby laser, that is an example of a 3-level laser. So practically these are 3-level and 4-level laser system. I am again repeating, ruby laser, that is your 3-level laser system, and helium neon laser, that is your 4-level laser system. So this is the working process of 3 and 4-level laser system. Thank you.